Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I have the ultimate shit hit the fan non-food items list for you. Stay tuned. Alrighty guys, so again, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's your girl Tish, and I have, like I said, the ultimate shit hit the fans non-food items list for you. So this is the comprehensive list that you need to make sure that you are prepared for an emergency situation. Your girl did all the work for you. I also do have a free printable, excuse the smile, I wrote all over it, but it's available on my website, Mrs.LNoble.com. I'll go ahead and leave the link down below in the description box for you. So make sure you head over there, get your free printable, take it to the store with you, check off your items, make sure you have everything that you need, and then, you know, you can be as prepared as possible. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this list. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to start with is some chapstick, some Carmex, because your girl's lips is so dry, so dry. Alright, so starting with petroleum jelly, chapstick, Carmex, all those type of things. These are not only good for an emergency situation, like if your lips are really chapped. It is quite a bit of things that they are good for, so it'll be right here or right here, but make sure you have some petroleum jelly, some good old chapstick, some Carmex. Alright, the first item we're going to get into is soap. This is the soap that I prefer to use because it has no pork products in it. But soap is essential, of course, because, you know, you want to be clean. So this is something that you want to make sure that you have on hand, and I would recommend having like a pack like this for each member of your family, and just kind of you know, buying along. You don't have to buy everything at one time. I repeat guys, you do not have to buy everything at one time. Take your time, stockpile as you go. Every time you make a grocery order or you go into a place that has the essentials, grab a few things and work your way up. So my first recommendation is definitely soap. Next on the list is good old coconut oil. Gotta love this stuff. This stuff is good. You can just eat this stuff straight to keep yourself full in a situation where you're needing fat to keep you, to sustain you. I'm gonna go ahead and put a list here and here for the uses for coconut oil, cooking, you name it. But coconut oil is definitely an essential in an emergency situation. Alright, deodorant. So a lot of people don't think that this is shit hit the fan item, but I happen to think it is. I don't want to be funky in a shit hit the fan situation. You can definitely use it sparingly if you're in that type of situation where maybe you're not bathing regularly, because water can be an issue in an emergency situation. But I don't think it's a bad thing to have a couple of sticks of deodorant on hand. You know, limit the funkiness. So I definitely recommend having some deodorant, especially if you're taking your time to, you know, stockpile some stuff. Grab some deodorants. You can get deodorant as cheap as $1, so make sure you have this on hand. Toothbrushes, yay! So again, toothbrushes you can get as cheap as $1. You can get, in fact, I think at Walmart I seen a pack of 5 toothbrushes for $1. You don't want to have bumping gums when you're in an emergency situation. Just because it's an emergency doesn't mean hygiene has to fail you know? So get you some toothbrushes and keep it clean, you know what I'm saying? And that brings me to the next item. Good old toothpaste. Alright, so the next item is baking soda. So this is how I keep my baking soda, but I always make sure to have this on hand. So baking soda is good for all kinds of things, cleaning. The next thing is razors. So I think razors are essential. Your husband may need to shave his mustache or something like that. Lots of hair can become an issue. Women, you know, No one wants to be a hairy mess. So I think razors are essential. Now, are they absolutely essential? No, but again, this is the ultimate shit hit the fan list. So everything that you could possibly need. So I think it's definitely worthwhile to have some razors, and I think these were like 78 cents for a pack of 10. So there's really inexpensive, and I would definitely recommend picking up a few of these. Next item is baby wipes. I just grabbed the one that I was using for my son, but baby wipes are essential. Now, if you're in a situation where napkins, toilet paper, you know, that type of thing can be an issue, even like if you need to do like a quick, you know, baby wipes, absolutely you need. Next item, toilet paper. So, as you know, when the pandemic first started, you could not get toilet paper anywhere. So I would strongly suggest that you go and stock up on as much toilet paper as possible. I buy mine in bulk on Amazon. I think I pay like 40 bucks or 30 something bucks for a box of 96. I have one that's currently open. I have one, and then I have a backup, and then probably I'm gonna buy another backup for the backup, because I have a very large family and toilet paper is not something that I'm interested in running out of. Alright, so the next item is sanitary napkins or tampons. I mean, there are ways around it if you don't have any, but why? So I would recommend stocking up on these, especially if you're like me and you have daughters. Yeah, you want to definitely have as much of these as possible. So make sure you have, just the same way I said stock up on toilet paper, go ahead and stock up on these just as much as you would for your toilet paper. Alright, so to the kind of medicines. So I would definitely recommend having hydrocortisone cream, which is right here. Also some antibiotic cream. Next thing is prescription medications. I'm obviously not going to show you all the information on here, but make sure that you have prescription medications if you take medication. If you can, you know, kind of explain the situation to your doctor, say, hey, can I get just one extra refill? I'm sure they will oblige by that. You know, whatever the case may be. My kids have asthma. I always try to stock up on that type of medication, making sure that I have like a battery operated nebulizer machine, that type of thing. Make sure you stock up on your medications, even if you need to ration them out if ever a time like that comes. But make sure that you have the medication that you need to get you through. Also, I would definitely recommend doing research on natural ways to help combat whatever illness or thing that you have, just in case there's a situation where you do run out of medication. You know, you have like a backup plan. So definitely stock up on your prescription medications, but also make sure that you have a backup plan that can potentially work for you in the event that you're not able to get medications after a while. Next, first aid kit. So these are essential, guys. Make sure you have a first aid kit, and I would recommend having a first aid kit for each member of your family. So I have an 8 family household, so I will have 8 first aid kits. I like to get the 250 items one, the very large one, because I want to make sure that it has all the stuff that I could possibly need. This is just like, okay, this person has a cut, let's go into their first aid kit, grab the things that they need to patch them up. I would recommend that you take this very seriously, have a first aid kit, and then I would also take a look at what's in the first aid kit, and then on top of what you have in here, go ahead and buy more. Just as a backup as well. So definitely a first aid kit. And as I was just saying, make sure you have backup of what's already in the first aid kit. So bandages. So I would definitely recommend buying extra bandages. Now, the next item that I'm going to show you're gonna be like, girl, what? But yes, just stick with me, guys. Good old condoms, wrappers, whatever you call them, and stick with me, guys. So I think this is an essential item. if you're in an emergency situation and you're coupled up. And this is why I say this. I'm a married woman. I'm fixed. I don't really need this. But if you're not, during times of a pandemic, or if the world is collapsing, it's probably not the best idea to be, having babies right at that moment. At least until you kind of figure out a plan, what's going to happen. You kind of know what's going on. Probably not the best time to be having babies, so I would definitely recommend having some of these, making sure you're taking all the precautions so you're not having a pandemic while pregnant. That's really not a good, it sounds good because it's like a PMP, pandemic and pregnant, like 16 and pregnant. You could make a whole series out of that, but it sounds good, but it's not that good. So make sure you stock up on those. Alright, the next thing that I have is calamine lotion. Remember what I said to you earlier, you might have to venture out, maybe some poison ivy. Calamine lotion is very, very good for that. Now that's actually something that I need to get, so I'm going to put that on my next grocery order. But next on the list is disposable gloves. Now these are hard to find as well. They're a little bit better, like easier to find now, but I would definitely recommend, like, every time you go to Walmart, every time you go any place that has these for a decent price, just grab one.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Follow me at Mrs.LNoble.com and Pinterest, links in the description box below. Alright, the next thing is tweezers and nail clips. I know you're like, girl, tweezers, what you need tweezers for? Splinters, girl. Have you ever had a splinter? Get you some tweezers. So I would definitely recommend having some tweezers on hand just for like splinters and things like that. You may need to pick some plants that may have gotten in your skin. You never know. That type of thing. And a nail clip. You want to make sure that you have a nail clip. Your nails may get too long, get a bunch of dirt under there. That's kind of unsanitary. And if you're a person, this has happened to everybody, I don't care what you say, but you let your toenails grow a little bit too long, they're uncomfortable in your shoes, you don't want that. So make sure that you have a good nail clip and a good set of tweezers. The next thing is cotton balls, cotton rounds, cotton squares, whatever, cotton. Just 100% pure cotton. You want to make sure that you have these if you need to clean any wounds or anything like that. Next thing is rubbing alcohol and hydrogen peroxide. Again, for those antiseptic purposes, you want to make sure that you're cleaning any wounds or anything like that, making sure that you're doing it correctly, making sure that no infections build up. So I would definitely recommend having a lot of these. And they're also good for cleaning. Sorry, I forgot to mention that, but definitely good for cleaning. Hydrogen peroxide disinfects, absolutely. And then rubbing alcohol you can just use for like cleaning mirrors and things like that. So I mean, not that that's really important in an emergency situation, but definitely hydrogen peroxide disinfects. I think you spray on the surface and it takes about 10 minutes to disinfect, so make sure you get some of this. Next thing is hand sanitizer. You want to make sure that you have this for like on the go, quick, fast, needing to sanitize your hands. You need to have this now with COVID. Sometimes water is an issue in an emergency situation, so you want to make sure that you have clean hands, things are sanitized at all times. Next thing, a thermometer. So again, talking about not having readily available healthcare, you want to make sure that you set yourself up with like your own kind of station of making sure that everyone's good. Make sure you have a few thermometers on hand, different types of thermometers. It's always a good idea making sure you're checking temperatures, making sure everyone is good. So I would definitely recommend having a thermometer, several thermometers on hand. The next thing, I actually don't have this, so again, I'm going to add that to my next grocery list, but I would definitely recommend having some insect repellent, especially if there are going to be situations where you have to leave your home. Maybe you're in a wooded area, have some insect repellent just in case you need to kind of keep those bugs off of you. You don't want the wrong thing biting you, so I would definitely recommend having some insect repellent for a backup. Next thing is dish soap. So I would recommend having lots and lots of dish soap. This is good for obviously washing dishes. This is good for washing clothes, washing hands, washing all kinds of things. It's definitely recommended to have lots and lots of dish soap because it's a multi-use type thing. Yes, it's for dishes traditionally, but you can definitely use it to, like I said, wash your clothes and things of that nature. So make sure that you have tons of this on hand. And all right, so the next thing is going to be vinegar. So vinegar never goes bad, so you want to make sure that you have this on hand. This is good obviously for cleaning. Rude. This is good for cleaning, for cooking, all kinds of things. So you want to make sure that you have tons of vinegar on hand. It's great for disinfecting. All right, so the next thing is going to be bleach tablets. So I have a bottle of bleach here, and someone actually told me in the comments on one of my videos that bleach actually turns, I think she said turns into water after a while. So she recommended that you get bleach tablets. So I'm going to put on the screen here the brand that she recommended, but it's the Evolve brand, and you can get them at Walmart. If you can't get the bleach tablets, just buy bleach, but make sure that you're rotating the bleach out enough so that it's not turning into nothing that is beneficial to you. Disinfectant cleaner, paper towels and napkins. You want to make sure that you have as much paper products as possible, people, because these things in an emergency situation, they go so very quickly. The next thing is trash bags. So you want to make sure that, again, in an emergency situation, that you're not, the trash is just piling up and you have like nowhere to put it. Coffee filters, because coffee is life. And if you're in an emergency situation, having a little coffee every now and again is life. It can save lives, trust me when I say this. Paper plates and paper products, same thing with plastic utensils. Next thing on the list is batteries. You're gonna need batteries for all the things, flashlights, radios, everything. So make sure that you guys have batteries on hand. Get every type of battery you can, triple D, double D, DD, triple A, double A, C's, the square ones, whatever, D2s, I don't know. Just make sure you have lots and lots and lots of batteries on hand for all your things that you can no longer plug stuff into the wall and use because you may have an issue with electricity. Make sure you get yourself some batteries. Next thing is flashlights. You know, I see you. Flashlights. Again, batteries for the flashlights, making sure that if there's a situation where the power goes out, that you have some flashlights. Make sure that every member of the family has a couple flashlights so you guys can get around that. If there's a situation again without electricity, maybe you can turn these on for a couple hours at night, that type of thing. Make sure you guys have some flashlights. You never know what could happen. There could be a danger in your home where you need to kind of, you know, be like, what's going on? What's going on? Don't make me have to cut somebody. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you get you some flashlights. Make sure you're prepared. In the same line of flashlights, candles. In the same sphere. In the same realm, matches and lighters. All right, so the next item on the list is duct tape and all the tapes. You want to make sure that you have all of these tapes. You might need to tape somebody up, or you might just need to tape like your windows up or something like that. So repair something and whatnot. So you want to make sure that you have all different types of tapes on hand. I think duct tape is an essential. Next is a multi-purpose tool, utility knife, those type of things. You know, you want to make sure, this is the one that I have right here. We have multiples of these, but you want to make sure that you have something like this so you can kind of just pop out. It has different things that you can use it for. You should actually probably have one of these for each member of your family. Obviously, if you have like a 3-year-old, not so much, but you know, any kid can learn how to use this properly. You want to just make sure that you're very careful when you're teaching them how to use it, but this is a good thing to have on hand. You know, all kinds of things can need to be done, so make sure that you have a good utility or multi-purpose tool. The next thing is plastic sheeting. You may need something like this to, like, if a window breaks or something along those lines. It's always good to have something like this. Maybe you need to keep some warmth in the house or whatever, so make sure you have a lot of this kind of stuff. I would definitely recommend just going around your home and kind of going to the windows and kind of maybe estimating how much of this stuff you would need, along with your car and things like that. So make sure that you have tons of plastic sheeting. The next thing is tarps. I actually don't have one that's not open on hand. I actually need to get some more, but make sure that you have tarps as well. It goes with the plastic sheeting. You may need to, like, put that over a window or something along those lines. Make sure that, like, rain or water is not getting into something, so make sure that you have some tarps. Next thing I would definitely recommend getting is a generator. Generator. I actually had a generator, but my father-in-law, he kind of stole it. But you know, hey Dad. He didn't really. We left it at his house and he needed to use it, so we just left it there. But a generator. You need a generator just in case, obviously, you're out without power or anything like that. You want to make sure that you just have a backup generator so you can use the things that you need to use in your house sparingly. If there's a situation where your power goes out, that you can kind of extend the life of your foods as long as possible, or at least until you can come up with a game plan to preserve them. All right, the next thing is going to be masks. Now, it's super important to have masks. So you can just do the regular old face masks. It's good to have those for, like, non-important situations, but I would definitely recommend having an N95 mask or like a mask like this. Definitely recommend having one of these for each member of your family, and then having the replacement filters on these as well. We do have those. These are going to be essential. You never know what's going to be in the air. You never know what situation you're going to be in. You may need to leave your home, travel to somewhere safe. You may need to just be on the move at all times. This is something, if nothing else on this list, make sure that each member of your family has one of these. And I didn't put this on my list, but I'm going to add it by the time you see this video. Also, life jackets. Life jackets are absolutely essential, along with any type of, like, boots, like snow boots, those work boots that are, like, waterproof. Make sure you get one of those for each member of your family. The next thing is some good quality scissors. This scissor is so sharp, but really huge scissors as well. And a sewing kit, which is, this is my sewing kit. It's just like a pencil box that has, like, all my threads, my needles and stuff like that, and safety pins. You never know where you're going to have to repair clothes, all kinds of things. So make sure that you have a really good sewing kit. The next thing is chains and ropes. Not to be kinky, just because you need chains and ropes to repair things. Next thing is paracord. Next thing I would recommend getting is fuel. So get those red gas containers and fill them up with fuel every time you go to the gas station. You may need fuel for your generator, fuel for your car, all types of things. So make sure that you have that. You're getting enough fuel for the things that you need, but you can also get this, which is called a safety siphon. I think that, I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced, but a siphon. So basically what you do with this is you will put this in someone else's gas tank, and you will basically use your mouth to kind of suck the gas out, and you remove your mouth before the gas actually comes out, and then you siphon the gas into a container. So I would recommend also having this, because you never know what kind of situation you're going to be in, and you may run out of fuel and need to kind of siphon fuel from someone else's car. That's kind of bad, but I mean, it can happen. So make sure you get one of these as well. The next thing I would recommend is zip ties. Again, for repair purposes, all kinds of things. You may need to keep someone captive. You know, make sure that you get you some zip ties to, you know, just for like repair purposes and things of that nature. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the water bob. So I don't know if you know what this is, but basically you can see on the photo, it kind of gives you a demonstration of what it is. But I love the idea of this because say you know an emergency situation is coming, right? You know water could possibly be an issue. I would recommend, if you have 4 bathrooms in your house, getting 4 of these, hooking them up to your tub, and then basically filling each tub with water so you can get it as much water as possible. So basically what you do with this is you open it up and you fill it with water, and it basically expands into your tub. Next thing is rain barrels. So obviously I don't have my rain barrel in here. It's easy water. Whenever it rains, you can collect some water. So I would definitely recommend having a few rain barrels, one maybe for each corner of your home. So rain barrels are a great way to get water. So I would definitely recommend having a few of those, and they're really not that expensive. I think we got our rain barrels for like $25 each, if that, maybe 20. The next thing is radios, walkie-talkies, and things of that nature. I have one up in my bathroom. I'll take a picture of it and show it to you guys. But these are things that you want. This is how you're going to basically keep track of what's going on in the world. You know, like I said, electricity might be an issue, so you want to have a good radio that takes batteries so you can find out exactly what's going on, so you can make sure that you're prepared. Having walkie-talkies, maybe your husband and your son need to go out and kind of do some perimeter stuff or whatever. So making sure that they can communicate with each other is always a good idea. So I would definitely make sure that you have a great radio and some walkie-talkies. Another thing is a map. I would definitely recommend having a map of your state and then a map of the United States, and maybe even beyond that. So this one is for the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So this is perfect. So I would recommend having that because again, if electricity is an issue, it's not like your iPhone is going to be working to tell you where to go. So you want to make sure that you have a map and a current one. This is from 2013, so we do need to get a new one, but I would recommend getting a current map. Next thing is axe, shovels, handy tools. So hammers, those type of things. Axes, so you can buy firewood obviously, but there may come a time where you need to kind of like chop something down so you can have firewood. So you want to make sure that you have those type of tools, shovels and things like that. You may need to shovel into the ground. Some people keep their food cool by putting it underground. So having a shovel is a good idea for that. So make sure you have those kind of tools. Next thing again is firewood. You can chop your own firewood. You can also purchase your own firewood. So make sure that you have that on hand so you can make sure that you keep your home warm, that you can start fires to make food if need be. Make sure you have your little trusty blanket. You want to have a blanket for each member of your family, and a nice thick one, not something like this, a super thick warm blanket for each member of your family. I would also recommend having rain ponchos just in case you have to go out, it's raining or whatever. You want to make sure that you keep something that's going to protect you from the rain. You don't want to catch cold or anything like that. A whistle. Whistles are super important because if someone is on one side of the property or one side of here or over here, a whistle can be a really good form of communication. Next thing is binoculars. Don't you love some good binoculars? These are amazing because you want to make sure that you can see things, making sure that your perimeter of your home is safe, that nobody's trying to fool around with you, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you get you a good pair of binoculars. What's this? Bushnell. Bushnell is a really good company for binoculars, and I actually have this on my website as well. So if you go to my product page, the link for this particular one is there. So definitely get you some binoculars. Next thing is a compass. So in the event that you have to leave your home is not the safest place for you to be. You definitely want to have a compass. Some people are directionally challenged, so make sure that you have a compass to lead you to the places that you need to go, making sure that you're going the right way to safety and not to danger. So make sure that you have a good compass. The next thing is tents. We have several of these. You want to make sure that you have tents. You never know, again, if you have to leave your home, you want to make sure it's safety first, making sure that you're away from, well, you're protected from the elements, rain or anything like that. A water filtration system, great idea. Life Straw is one that I recommend. Perfect. And also water purification tablets. Now you can use some of those bleach tablets, but I would prefer to use like a specific water purification tablets because they're smaller. So in the event that you need to get water from a source that you're kind of iffy about, you can use those water purification tablets. The next thing I would recommend is clothespins and the clothespins and the rope. So basically back in the day, you know, when you had a clothesline and stuff like that, definitely recommend that, because if you're without electricity, you're having to hand wash clothes or something like that, you obviously need to dry them. So I would recommend just having that on hand in the event that you're going to need to dry your clothes, that can be installed at that time. The next thing I would recommend is having several buckets. Buckets for like food and things like that, but also buckets just for like sanitary purposes. You know, make sure you get some clean water, clean yourself up. You may need to take water from one place to another, so have several buckets just in case one cracks or whatever the case may be. Get you some buckets. The next thing I would recommend is a can opener, and a good one, and maybe even 3 or 4, because one thing that you're going to need as far as food, you're probably going to be relying on a lot of canned goods when you're in an emergency situation. The last thing you want is not to be able to open your cans, or to open it with something that's going to put the metal into your food. So definitely get you some good can openers. Sometimes they can be $6-7. Go ahead and invest in at least 3 or 4 of them. The next thing is socks. Make sure you have tons and tons and tons of socks. The worst thing is when your feet are wet. So you want to make sure that you have socks to keep your feet warm. It might be a little chilly. Just make sure that you have yourself some good old socks. The next thing is aluminum foil. I actually don't have that because I don't use aluminum foil. If you don't know, aluminum foil is pretty toxic to like cook with. So I don't use aluminum foil, but I do think it's a good idea in an emergency situation for cooking purposes. Even though it's toxic, if you're hungry and food needs to be made, aluminum foil is something that you need to have on hand. So I would definitely recommend having tons of that. The next thing also, you want to have some cooking pots. I recommend, this is a stainless steel pot, you can use that, but I would definitely recommend using lots of cast iron. I have tons of cast iron pots, but I would recommend going and getting you one of those, I forgot what they're called, but they're the deep ones. I'll put the name up here, but one of those, maybe a skillet, a few different things, but definitely invest in some cast iron pots. The next thing is card games. I know you're like, girl, what card games? Yes, because in the event that you don't have electricity, you need to entertain some of these kids. You need to entertain yourself so you don't go crazy. So make sure that you have card games, reading books, paper, puzzles, coloring books, regular old books. Along with that, pens and, where's the pencils? Pencils, sharpeners, that type of thing, markers. Make sure you have it all. If you have a little laptop, y'all can put on maybe once a week, like a little movie that y'all can enjoy, charge your laptop up, that type of thing. Alright, another thing that I would recommend having is a little bit of adult beverages, you know, some wine, a little vodka maybe, you know, just for some times where You just kind of need to like let loose a little bit, not too much. Also, I would recommend having like vodka and things like that for it. You may need it for antiseptic purposes, so I would recommend having some alcohol for that. But having a little wine, you can make wine yourself. I have a recipe I can share with you guys if you're interested in it. But definitely having a little bit of alcohol never hurt anybody. The next thing I would recommend having is some kitty litter. I know you're like, what? Kitty litter? What you need kitty litter for? I ain't got no cats. But I would recommend having kitty litter, because if there's a situation where your toilet's not working, kitty litter may be your friend. I know you're like, that is disgusting, but I mean, I'm being real with you. Get you some kitty litter. I would recommend getting a few bags for each member of the family and putting it aside. So get you some kitty litter. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And protection for your home. So this is a bow and arrow. I know you're like, girl, what? Yes, you have to protect your home. I know some people are like, I don't know how I feel about that. Da, 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 da. Get you some, that's all I'm gonna say. Get you some bow and arrows. Make sure you're versed in how to use them. Let's think about it this way. Your number one focus is to keep yourself safe and your family safe. And you can only do that. You can't bring a knife to a gunfight. Let's just put it like that. Your home is protected, and you're doing what you need to do in this time to make sure that that's happening. That's all I'm going to say about that. And last but not least, your personal records. Just in the event that something happens and you need to verify who you are, verify the member of your family members or something like that. Make sure you have your personal records on hand, even if there are copies of them in a safe place. Make sure that you have your personal records, because you never know what you may need to provide to verify who you are. And that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you for sticking with me. I know this was a really long video, but I so appreciate it. And guys, stay tuned to this channel, because I'm going to have all of these shit hit the fan videos, all of these stockpile videos coming, all of them. We will be organized. We will be sharing all the stockpile tips. We will be getting organized and prepared for an emergency situation together. Okay, it's gonna be on and popping, on and popping, on and popping. Wax on, pop off. Wax on, pop off. Okay, it's gonna be here. It's going to be lit. You will get all the tips. We're gonna prep together, and it's going to be amazing. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I so appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload new content. And as always, guys, again, I so appreciate you. So don't forget to keep it positive, be prepared, but always keep it real. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.